Hello, guys. So, today we are going to get you ready to take on 2019 and do it the best you can. And we're going to make this next year amazing. Um, I'm going to try and see the comments for you guys. I think it's working. All right. Mm, Sorry, new computer setup, and I really can't read this screen very well. All right, so let's get the momentum started for 2019 so you aren't kind of like, oh no, it's the new year. I haven't thought about what to do, and then you just keep on what you're doing and it's already not working. So, um, I love the saying, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results. So we need to get you guys set up to do something different because what you're doing now, if it isn't working, then you need to change it up. And maybe you just don't know what exactly to do to change it up, or you just don't even know how to go about any of it, or you don't even really know if your goals are what you should be doing or not. So we'll get into all of that. But a fun fact, did you know that only 8% of people that set their New Year's resolutions, only 8% of them accomplish them? And I think that's a pretty sad number. If your goals are really your dreams, then why aren't you actually going after them? And like I said before, a couple of those reasons are maybe the goal isn't big enough, it doesn't excite you. Maybe it's not the right goal for you. Uh, it could just be you setting it because you think that's kind of what you should be doing. It could be not having the right reasons to do it. Also falls under the it doesn't excite you category. And maybe it's a huge reason is that it isn't clear enough. That is a huge problem that a lot of people have. You need to make a clear goal, and also sometimes you don't end up putting an action plan into going after that goal. And that is, I think, the second biggest as far as what people don't do to set themselves up to succeed. And in order to do all of this, first we need to decide on what your goals actually are. So, this takes a little bit of a brain dump, I like to call it. You need to just write down all of what you envision your ideal life to be. And I mean, not like, oh, I want to go to Disney at some point. No, I mean, like where you live, your house, your family, your job, your hobbies, how much free time you have, how much money you make, all of that. All of those goals, just brain dump them down just so that way you can kind of see them because you end up keep them coming, and you can end up having your life goals. How I like to split them up is like your life and then your work goals. And once you have them all down, you need to look and see if those two sections even mesh together. Like do they support each other? And if they don't, then you need to kind of reevaluate one or the other. If you don't want to change your job, like you love your job but it does not support the life that you want, then obviously it's not gonna work out. And then same thing, it goes vice versa. If you don't like your job at all and it doesn't support the life that you want, then maybe you should be getting like make your goals as far as your job to be a different job. But they need to kind of be able to support each other, and otherwise it'll just kind of they'll be fighting against each other, and it's going to make everything just a lot harder and you're going to burn out. Um, and then once you, if you don't really know what these goals are for yourself, like maybe you just have no idea what any of it is, you can go on your Pinterest, because I know a lot of us just Pinterest things and save things onto different boards. And that's probably what your dreams are. Because I know I have like different things for like things that I want to work on and stuff like that. That's a good place to start as far as what your actual dreams are going to be. And after you figure out all of those goals, you need to get rid of all of those voices in your head that are telling you you don't deserve it. That's not realistic. That is a huge one that people tell themselves. Because if you can dream it, then you can do it. You just need to figure out your action plan. And you also deserve it. So if you need a little bit more help in that particular area, go back to the last episode we did, and it's titled "The Right Time Doesn't Exist." It's something along those lines. I can't pull it up right now. So we figured out our goals and you wrote them down, right? So did you know that you are 42% more likely to achieve those goals just by writing them down? And you increase your likelihood to succeed to 78% when you tell someone about these goals. And this is all because just doing these simple things increases your commitment and decreases your ruminative thinking. So ruminative thinking is when you think about your past and who you used to be, but it's usually a negative way. So it comes back to those voices in your head telling you you can't achieve this, you don't deserve it, sort of thing. So that all just means that writing them down and telling a friend decreases your ruminative thinking, which means that you're just going to be happier person in general. That is a huge way to help with that mental health that we talked about before. So when you get all of your goals down, what I like to do is we're going to talk about a vision board and how that plays into your morning routine to set yourself up every single day for success, which will ultimately, every day adds up to your year, right? So that will set your whole year up for success just by doing some easy things. Sorry, I'm sick. All right, so what I like to do is, my vision board, I look at my goals, the affirmations that we talked about before, and I have a lot of quotes, positivity quotes and goal quotes on the board as well. And then gratitude, it's not part of the board part, but I have a gratitude journal that I do, and meditation and exercising. So all of those things, now if you aren't really, it doesn't necessarily all have to be first thing in the morning. Your vision board ideally gets done first thing in the morning, just because it switches your brain into a positive way of thinking. And everything else, if you don't like to work out in the morning, obviously don't work out in the morning. And if you don't have time to just do some sort of meditation, there's a great app. It's called Headspace that I like to use. And they have you can do, it's just, I don't know if it's 3 or 5 minutes is the shortest, but you can find that amount of time in your day and it will make you feel a lot better. And it's super easy to do. So they do that some point during your day, even if it's right before you go to bed, to help you fall asleep. A lot of people like to do that. And then the gratitude journal I do in 2 parts. I do part in the morning and then part at night. And so first things first are the goals that we came up with. You need to pick 3 big ones that are long-term for the year goals. So not 5 years, but 1 year. So if you have a 5-year goal, what do you need to accomplish this year to put you in a comfortable position for that 5-year goal? And then that's going to be your goal for this year. So try and do about 3 of them. Don't do too many, because it just makes you kind of overwhelmed with your to-do list that you'll have to do. And not enough, I don't know. I guess you can have just one. I don't think that that's a problem. But you're going to take, what I like to do is go on Pinterest, print out those pictures of those goals, and then put them on the vision board. You can also just have a board on Pinterest called Vision Board, and then you can look at them every day that way. Or you can just, if you don't have Pinterest, just go on Google and Google your goal and print out your favorite couple of pictures and put them on that vision board. I just have a cork board and then little push pins to put everything on there. And then next, you're going to do affirmations that we talked about in the mental health episode, but we'll go over them again. So affirmations are the practice of positive thinking and self-empowerment. And it really does wonders for self-confidence, mental health, your outlook on life, succeeding in tasks even. So in your affirmations, you want to have 3 to 5 in each category. And the categories are yourself, so obviously anything about you, and health, that can be diet, exercise, mental health, anything like that. Wealth, that would just be money, just because that's a huge stressor for a lot of people. Physical surroundings, so where you live, the area surrounding you, that places that you like to go for fun, anything like that. Relationships, so that can be intimate relationships, friends, family, even strangers. Next would be work, so that's 6 so far. Work that you are currently doing, what you currently do, or work that you want to be doing, that you're working towards getting to do. Spirituality is the last one. So I use the YouVersion app for this part, and I do a lot of the devotionals in this area. They have a bunch of different, like, week-long devotionals is typically how they're broken up. But if you are not like religious spirituality, you can do your affirmations for whatever floats your boat in that category. So if you need help with affirmations, you can Google them. There's a lot if you aren't very good at coming up with your own. But you want about 3 to 5 in each of those categories that I just talked about. And what I also like to do is either take a picture of one of them and then save it as my background on my phone for that day or that week. Whatever ends up working for you, you just kind of got to figure it out. But either take a picture and save it as like your lock screen, or just pull it off the board and have it in your pocket to pull out. And you're going to read that to yourself every time you start to feel a little stressed or feeling kind of lost almost. So you just want to reinforce that positive thinking throughout your day. And then we talked about the picture part. And then so during the affirmations, I usually do that while I'm like brushing my teeth, just to kind of cut down on the time. The goals, the picture goals part, I like to do almost kind of like a meditative way. If you aren't good at meditation, then you should probably use that Headspace app I was talking about. But I just take those pictures and I envision myself as that is my life. And then how I feel that that is accomplished and how I would feel if I would not accomplish that. And I kind of hold those emotions as my drive to get me through the tough days, and to push myself to work on those goals. Because you're not going to have, most days, you're not going to be like, okay, I can do this. Like life is going to happen. Things are going to try and push it out of the way. So it kind of falls to the back burner. And you need to make it a priority. Make yourself a priority this year. That's your ultimate goal, right? That's what everybody needs to work on. Then next I go to the gratitude part. So the first part is writing down like three things that of how I want to feel that day, how the day I want the day to go. And then at the end of the day, the second part, I write down at least 3 things that I was happy for that day, that I'm grateful for. And at the end of the month, I'll take my top 1 to 3 from that month, and I write them down in, here's next year's planner that I have, but I write them down on a special page. Oh, where is it? And it has 12 boxes for 12 months, but I write them all down in like an artsy way, just because at the end of the year, then I can go back and look at all of the things that I accomplished. And it's just a really cool way to end the year in a positive note. And it will set you up for the following year when you go to like, okay, this is kind of how this progress went, and you can use that as a gauge for the following year for your next year's goals. And I don't think the comment thing is working. None of my stuff is coming up. All right. So next, I like to do some sort of yoga type of workout in the morning, just because I feel a lot better that way. Because I work out, like my intense workouts are at night. So then when I sleep, I like my muscles get all stiff. So that's typically what works for me. You just need to figure out your own routine. Now, some tips for people that aren't morning people. You can set yourself up for success that day by either prepping out your meals the night before, so that way you have less of an excuse to eat fast food if that's one of your goals. You can lay out your clothes that night for the following day. That might help you with like getting to the gym and those workout goals. Packing up any bags. You can set up all of your coffee and stuff the night before, because I don't know of any that don't have a timer on them, that you can set a timer for the next day and it'll have it all. As long as you have all the coffee grounds in there and everything, it'll have your coffee ready to go in the morning. And then that will help you find more time in your morning to do all of the vision board that we just talked about. Now, if you are a morning person and you like to have some time to yourself to enjoy quiet, what I like to do is get some of those inspiring books. So, what's some of them that I just read? I can't even remember the name. Girl on Fire, Girl Wash Your Face. That's a good one that a lot of people have been reading lately. Things like that. And I try to take at least 5 minutes, maybe 30 minutes, or I listen to a podcast if I'm not, because sometimes just reading a book will make me fall back asleep. So sometimes I listen to a podcast. for at least 5 minutes, sometimes 30 minutes, up to 30 minutes. And I try to fit that in the morning. And if I can't, I usually do it some other time of the day, just because it works on what you are learning. And I don't know, it just, it helps with your self-confidence. I feel like when you do something like that, you're kind of putting some work in for yourself. So you are constantly learning. I don't know how else to put it, but it really helps out that self-confidence. And if you're a morning workout person, this is also when you would fit in your morning workout. Or you can just do a quick stretching sort of thing if you like to work out in the afternoons. Also you would want to, what I do, drink a 8-ounce glass of room temperature water before I do anything else. It helps me with that water intake that I need to hit because I usually like my coffee still here. Yeah, I drag out my coffee all day. So I drink at least 8 ounces before I even start on my coffee. And then that helps me hit my water intake goal. But it also supposedly why I originally had started it. Somebody told me that it was really good for your metabolism and stuff like that. Just, I'm not sure. It was some boxer that I heard it from. So who knows? But whatever works, right? And then eat a good breakfast. I make sure I personally eat Greek yogurt for breakfast, sometimes with some granola or fruit. And I do that because of the protein makes me feel fuller longer, and I just feel a lot better when I have that in my system first thing in the morning. Just try and eat a good breakfast, though. You definitely don't want to skip it, but eating a good breakfast sets you up for the day. Just your body sets your body up for the day. Now, if you are kind of pressed for time in the morning and you're like, whoa, I cannot accomplish that vision board. There's no time for that vision board. So like I said earlier, I do my affirmations while I'm like brushing my teeth and brushing my hair, and I do all of that then. So that is something I'm already doing. So that's not taking up any time. My vision goals, the picture goals, I do that while I'm doing my stretching in the morning. So it's not like a full meditation, but it is at the same time. So that's not taking out anything from my morning. But if you guys don't do anything like that in your morning, you could do it while you're drinking your coffee, your first cup of coffee. You can do your goals, but you really want to make sure that you're doing something at the same time of that. You want to make sure that it's not anything that requires a lot of thought, because you want to put yourself into that picture and really envision yourself that is your current life, because you want to get those emotions of how you would feel into, like, you just want to remember those emotions. So like drinking coffee doesn't take up that much. Or if you go for a walk with your dog, you could do that. I mean, it might not work as well, but if you really don't have any other time to do it, then it's better than nothing, right? So you can do that then. I don't know what else you would need to really incorporate into your morning. But if you guys have any questions on how to go about this, go ahead, drop it in the comments. If you have any tips for other people, you found what works for you, go ahead, drop that in the comments, because everyone's different. Everybody's routines works for different personalities. So obviously this all isn't a one size fits all thing. So really, any tips that you guys have for each other would help everybody else out too. And then also drop in the comments your top 3 goals that you're going for this year, because we're going to help you out and increase your chances of succeeding by 74% by telling somebody about it. So drop it in the comments, and that'll also have it written down, right? So do that. And then what else? You can head over to sarahfegley.com for more of the videos that we have talked about, more of those videos that I talked about. So that mental health one we referred to a lot on this one. It talked about the affirmations and different things for you to do for yourself. So that really helps you figure out your morning routine. All of those things can be incorporated into your morning routine from that. And that is everything. I will talk to you guys later. If you guys have any any topics that you want covered, go ahead and shoot me a message or drop it in a comment of a post, and I will see what I can do about it. But I hope you guys have a great rest of your day and get your new year started off on the right foot.